Okay, so you want the best sound quality from a mobile device for yourself or a loved one on a budget. I still remember the first time I heard good hi-fi and realised how realistic music can sound. It was a revelation, like properly hearing what the music was saying for the first time. And maybe you want to share that experience with them. Well, it turns out there are some music lover bargains out there that, while not actually secret, are not that well known either. The budget audio bargains you can hear today are the £3 32 ohm Samsung EHS64, recommended by the extraordinarily prolific earphone reviewer Koss; the £6 64 ohm VE Monk Plus, recommended by DMS and BGGAR; the £20 15 ohm Sony MH1C, recommended by Oliv's Gadgets and Koss; the venerable £40 60 ohm Koss Porta Pro, recommended by Metal 571 and Z Reviews, amongst others; and the £60 32 ohm Etymotic MK5, recommended by Oliv's Gadgets and Steve Guttenberg. If you do some digging, you'll find glowing reviews of these treasures. Some may not be new or sexy, but they've stood the test of time, and you can see and hear them for yourselves right now. Welcome to GI Chow. So here's the recording rig, which comprises a sensor clip, which is playing 320 kilobit files unequalized via a FIO E11 headphone amp set to high gain and again unequalized through the earphones, earbud or headphone, which is inserted into or pressed against a wax channel of similar dimensions to a human ear canal, and then recorded on a Zoom H1 microphone at 320 kilobits per second. And I monitor on Sennheiser Amperias, which are essentially lower impedance versions of the broadcast monitoring reference Sennheiser HD25s. So this is what the monitoring cams are bringing up. And this is what the earphone itself sounds like, not being fed through the simulated ear canal, of course. So let's get into the detail. The 2012 Samsung EHS64 is the standard earphone that Samsung supplied with mobile phones from the Galaxy S3 days, but is happily still widely available. I've modified it with homemade foam ear tips to ensure a good seal. This provides a balanced sound with a slight V-shape, i.e. with the mid slightly recessed and less clear relative to bass and treble. The 2015 VE Monk Plus appeared a few years back and provides even more natural and realistic mids, but at the expense of firstly sub-bass presence, which earbuds that sit outside the ear canal struggle to reproduce, and secondly some coloration of the sound from the resonances of the large, cheap plastic housing. The foam covers of the Monks can significantly alter the signature, and the so-called donut foams that cover the edge but not the centre of the earbuds allow more of the treble to come through for an even livelier sound. Now the buds at 70mm in diameter are physically a little too large to sit comfortably in my ears for long. However, generally the earbud style suits those who don't like earphones that seal in the ear canal. The MH1C from 2003 and the Koss Porta Pro from 1984 both have a warm and sweet sound, with more and slightly boomier bass than is accurate and rolled off highs, which are improved on the Porta Pro by cutting a small hole in the foam ear pads. The MH1C has greater clarity overall, and in the Porta Pro the bass is described as bleeding into the mids, in that when music has both bass and mids, the bass tones extend into and so affect the clarity of the mids. That said, if you prefer your mobile music delivered via a headphone rather than earphone, it remains a contender, even 36 years after it first came out. And as the prolific reviewer Metal571 has said, it's one he could live with forever, without feeling he was missing out on too much. For those who love a lush, warm and sweet sound, it could be just the ticket. The 2016 Etymotic MK5s are the most recent audio bargains and the closest I've found to the naturalness of the Sennheiser HD600, though have slightly less airiness in the treble, and like the HD600, a mids focus and a so-called neutral bass response, which can be unsatisfying for dance or rock music. Now, if some filter material is introduced into the tips, this takes the edge off the high treble and thereby increases the relative amount of bass, bringing it to a very satisfying level. As with the Monk, some may not get on with these due to comfort, since they need to be inserted deep into the ear canal. To address this, I've shortened the tips on mine to improve comfort and introduced a tiny piece of tissue into the board to reduce the consequently slightly too hot treble. While these deliver about as close to the truth as you can get, not everyone can handle the truth. Check out my other video on physical modifications like this and equalization that can improve the sound reproduction from your earphones at little to no cost. At the end of the day, the most valuable earphones are the ones you actually use, and comfort and a good fit in your ears are key to that. Now, considering the group as a whole, a general observation is that the impedance figures are higher than average, perhaps because the stronger magnets that return the driver more quickly for a faster, more natural transient response are harder to drive. Now, which reviewers and reviews we trust is a question that might warrant a video of its own, and I'd love to hear your views on who and what inspires your trust. However, so far as this video goes, there is consensus from many and well-regarded reviewers about these earphones, both the bigger audiophile reviewers and some small and passionate ones. So to conclude, for me comfort and convenience are the first consideration, and all of these earphones are easy to drive straight from a smartphone or mobile device. No amp is needed. In terms of sound quality, the bass needs to have sufficient quantity, impact, speed and depth to convey energy. Sufficient quantity is essential, even if the quality may have a few shortcomings. The mids must be natural and realistic, approaching the audiophile vocal reference of the Sennheiser HD600. The treble must be energetic, but neither too bright and sibilant nor rolled off and artificially smoothened. For soundstage, there must be some sense of the music coming from beyond one's ears, rather than being completely in your head. Now, everyone has their own preferences. Some prefer a bassier sound to convey the energy of EDM, for example, while others love natural vocals or an analytical sound where you can make out lots of detail, or a smoother sound that just washes over you. One of these audio bargains, with equalization if you want it, should suit anyone looking for a clear and natural sound and provide an audiophile level of sound quality at the best value. So folks, there you go. What do you think? Let everyone know in a comment below. And if you found this video useful, you can help others find it by liking or commenting or subscribing below. But for now, you all take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.